Another update is the newest update to come to Hypixel Skyblock. And while some people view it as a positive update, others view it as a failure of an update. So why did the Nether update fail? Was it because of lack of timing, amount of bugs? What caused the Nether update to fail? Now, I do enjoy the Nether update before we get started. I do think it's a good update, but it failed a lot of measures. First one, bugs. Oh my god, was there so much bugs this Nether update. In the beginning of the update, bosses were disabled for the first long time. And it wasn't until 6 days into the event that the Magma boss actually dropped the items that it was supposed to drop. But even besides the on-release bugs that made it really scuff and ruined the first and second day experience for a lot of Skyblock players, there was still bugs going on that broke the game completely. The dojo is also broken, with players getting insanely high scores on things that they should not be able to get. Like, how does people have 25,000 on tenacity? I can't even get to like 1,000. My high score is 550 for Christ's sake. And while most of these bugs were just benevolent and didn't actually break the game, there were many bugs that did. Off release, Crimson Armor was bugged, so you got infinite attack speed, and it allowed you to absolutely shred bosses left and right. Actually, off release, every single armor set from Kudra was bugged. Terror didn't give you damage boost stats, Crimson let you attack infinitely, Aurora Armor Explosive didn't even really work, neither with the choosing which rune to use, and Fervor Armor just didn't work either. Basically, every item they added broke, and there's still bugs going on to this day, including a major one, the Necromancer Sword instant health bug. Basically, I can heal infinitely with 0 cost because of mana pool, which is not how it's supposed to work. There's also a matter of attribute charge just not working. Just to list a few that don't work, combo doesn't work, mana pool doesn't work, there's a lot of ones that don't work. Other issue is, what the hell was the point of Alpha? Alpha is meant to test out so on release on the main server, things aren't as buggy. But all of the bugs that people experienced on main were bugs on Alpha and got reported to the admins before it even released. Even on Alpha, Alpha was less buggy than main first day release. At least the bosses worked properly and had the correct drops, but somehow when transferring over the stuff from Alpha to main, it broke. Like everything. Besides bugs, why else did another update fail? Another update was one of the most anticipated updates for a while, with admins building hype for months before it, because this was the only update we had experienced this year. The previous update before another update was M7 if you're counting that, or Bingo, and that was like 3 or 4 months ago. There hadn't been an update in a very long time, and this was supposed to be the big savior of Hypixel Skyblock. But it didn't end up actually doing anything. If we look at the graphs from the player count on Hypixel Skyblock from the past few years, we can see it's a downtrend and on decline. And if you're looking at this and you ask me to find where the Nether update was, you'd probably say it's right here. But it's not. The Nether update was right here. This is when the Nether update dropped. And it didn't increase the player count virtually at all. Because instantly after the Nether update happened, it dropped. It dropped to the exact same player count before the update even happened. It was too late and people at this point didn't care enough to play the update. So yes, it had one big spike, and then it just kept on declining the amount of players that are on at one time. Now the core root of this problem also comes down to the fundamentals of the update. The planning of the update. This update, yes, it was released too late. Yes, it had a bunch of bugs. Yes, there's a lot of grinding and there's power creep. But the main thing is it was too big. They had too much big goals for this update. In this update, they added the biggest island ever with 6 new bosses, new equipments, new attributes. They added new ways of enchanting. They added new ways of talismans. They added talismans 2.0. They added a new Blaze Slayer. They added so much stuff, it was overwhelming. But not only the fact that it was overwhelming, it wasn't polished either. If they had rolled out the Nether update piece by piece instead of one thing, it would have worked so much better. For example, if they had just rolled out the Nether update with Kudra, or without the equipment changes, or the talisman changes, or the dojo, or the Blaze Slayer, all that stuff, it would still be a huge update, and they could have gotten it out 2 months earlier. I mean, hell, Dojo is still missing a challenge. In the end, the ambitions of the admins were too big, and it didn't end up working, and it ended up screwing them, because they put so much time into this update to have it not be polished enough, and end up having basically everything bugged in some way, shape, or form. They literally could have made this update into 3 different updates. It could have been made into the Crimson Isles, then you could have added the equipments and the dojo changes, and the talisman changes, and then you could have added the Blaze Slayer. And those would be 3 big updates, like good big size updates, but they combined all of it into one and did nothing for the player count. Their player count stayed the exact same as it had with the bingo update. The bingo update actually had more players than the Nether update. Now, besides the actual implication and the implementation of the Nether update, there's also a core issue. For so long, there has been one weapon, one item that is the best in the game, and nothing has changed it. In fact, it's only boosted it. This is the Hyperion. Hyperion is broken for everything. And the difference between having a hype and not having a hype is night and day. You could have full Inferno Crimson armor with a Dark Claymore and still get out damaged by a Hyperion. You could be abusing bugs and still get out damaged by Hyperion. What they need to do is do something to fix Hyperion or even add new weapons that were better. Instead, they added an Iron Axe that doesn't even work, and they added a few extra zeros onto it, so you can't even get the drop. Now, the issue with nerfing Hyperion or balancing it is it'll have either implications on Master Mode or nerfing all weapons. So what is the solution to this? Quite honestly, for hype, what I would like to see, if possible, was have it deal like half damage or something outside of dungeons and deal more damage inside of dungeons. This would make a more diverse playstyle instead of just the answer to being everything Hyperion. Quite literally, you can beat every single thing. It's not an update. Even fishing with a Hyperion. Hyperion is better than everything else right now. And they need to fix it by nerfing the damage outside of dungeons and keeping it the same inside. All in all, this update was too big, too late, and had way too many bugs, and the core fundamentals of the power creep just did not work. Now, I did still enjoy the update, so don't get me wrong on that part, but it just had so much wrong with it. Either way, if you guys enjoyed today's video, subscribe. See you next one. Peace out.